I'm Justin McRoberts, and you are listening to the Title Pending audio series, a collection of readings focused on moments in my own creative history that I hope shed an inspired light on yours. An opening thought. Who needs another book about creativity? For a good 5 minutes, I sat staring at the email opened on my screen, my fingers resting crookedly on my keyboard. I wondered how to answer the question it posed. Would you be willing to talk with my students about your creative process? I was open to the idea, but I sincerely did not know what I would say about creativity to a classroom full of college students. Maybe I thought I could read a few passages from Ed Catmull's Creativity, Inc., and then facilitate a conversation around his stories and themes. Or perhaps I'd be better off with a few Seth Godin quotes, since they're so rich. And I was weighing these options when it struck me that I was misreading the question. I hadn't been asked to provide my take on the creative process. I was being asked about my creative process. Lifting my hands from the touch typing position and closing my laptop, I leaned back and focused on an empty space on the wall, mentally drawing up a list of things I'd created or been a part of creating. I'd written songs. I've recorded albums and EPs. I've written books and blogs. I've created and curated events. I've designed and helped build websites. I've planted a church. I've written sermons. And in all of these, I knew there were patterns of thought and behavior I often returned to. I had a way I went about creating things. These were common moments of inspiration, common obstacles, and common practices in my process, regardless of the particular thing I was creating. I even began to recognize that the breadth of my creative experience and the variety of my efforts might just mean I have a unique or even distinctive perspective to add to this conversation. I opened up my computer again and started typing. I would love to talk with your students about my creative process, especially if you can set me up to talk with them about theirs. A few months later, I sat on the desk in the front of a lecture hall, listening to the questions, struggles, insights, and wisdom of a room full of students, each one a creator in his or her own way. I found myself sincerely inspired and hoping that each of them followed through with their creative schemes. Not because each idea was perfectly original or highly marketable, but because the things they wanted to make and their desire to make them was clearly part of who they were as people. They are creatures who create. I don't think you and I create because one of us is eventually going to make the piece that satiates the primal human hunger all other art pieces had previously failed to satiate, or because one of us is going to write the song that renders all other songwriting unnecessary for the remainder of history. I believe we create because doing so is a key part of who we are, individually, culturally, historically. That creativity is a matter of human identity. Furthermore, while we may be born at a particular time and a particular place to this or that set of parents or socioeconomic circumstances, we will ultimately be remembered by what we make from what we're given. Just as a mother offers her child a gift in the life she's made for them, the gift an artist passes on to his or her world is particular in its expression, while being universal in its essence. You have work to make in this world, and I have mine. I wrote this book to help us both. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Title Pending audio series. If you've enjoyed listening and you'd like to take another step or two in the direction of your own creative process, navigate your way to yourcreativeprocess.info. And there you'll find an online course I've designed for you.